Okay, so I am really happy about this. Got one of my favorite people to wish I looked like, Mr. David Fay. You're one of the people in our section that has a very short list of haters. I can't think of anybody, in fact,
I've got a few, I'm sure.
that doesn't like David Fay. Actually, most people are like, I love it when that guy's around because he's just such a nice guy. Maybe it's because you're very, according to all the ladies in our section, you're one of the better looking guys, and you're really nice and humble, which I guess makes you pretty special. You're not a tool. So, for you, David. Thanks.
That might be because I'm actually playing golf instead of working a real job.
It has its days, I'm sure. So again, thanks for making the time to join. And one of the things I don't know about you is, how did David Fay start playing golf?
Grew up playing soccer. My family all played soccer, and my mom coached.
And where was this?
This was in Oak Harbor, pretty much. I wasn't born here, but I pretty much grew up here from second grade on. So it was soccer all year round up until just before my junior year in high school. And I played in high school and through sophomore year, and just a few things happened where I decided, hey, let's try this golf thing. Because my parents had bought a 1 month membership for the whole family to play golf here, one of our public courses here.
Well, 1 month? Just 1 month?
Well, we only ended up doing it for 1 month. It was August, right before school started. My brother and I, older brother, two of them, we just started going out and playing every chance we had to go out and just play in the afternoons. And from there on, I decided, hey, I'm gonna switch and go to golf. And I didn't play much during that winter, but tried it out in, we started in late February, early March. My goal at that point, I think we were just playing 9 holes. If I could shoot 45, I had a good day. From there on, just played golf as much as I possibly could. I had my own little lawn business when I was 16, 17, and I would mow lawns in the morning and go play golf in the afternoon. And by the end of, before all that, by the end of my sophomore or junior year, went from probably 6 on JV to, at the end of the year, getting to play a little bit of varsity. So played a lot of golf. So senior year, we were pretty good as a team and played a lot. It still wasn't great, but I was getting better, and then played a little bit of junior college, and then went and worked with Chuck West at Sandpoint when he had moved over there, because he was my boss here when I had started working over that junior, just senior year summer. And that's kind of when I was in Sandpoint, I decided I was going to go back to school and do the business. I left some openings so I could do something else if I chose. A major in business marketing, and came right back here, worked a little bit, and just took off from there.
Typical David Fay. You leave out a lot of some of the details, not because you don't have any details. It's just because you're like, I know what you're thinking in your head, probably thinking nobody really cares. And they do, though. So what junior college?
I just went here, Skagit, and then when I finished it up, so I'd taken time off and went to Sandpoint, and then came back, finished it up, and went to WSU. Wasn't able to play because I had already started playing a little bit for PGA stuff, but I did learn that I was a lot better at going to school when there was no golf around. So for 2 years, I just had not a lot of golf.
So, I always know that's one of the things that you always make a point. You're subtle about it, living on the purple side of the state, more purple side, but you're very much the burgundy and gray guy, especially during football season. I have seen that come out in you. And you, how often do you get over to the Palouse? It seems like you get over there, not all the time. You make it.
No, not all the time. But we've got some daughters growing up, and one of them has decided that she wants to go to WSU. So we went over there for Apple Cup this year. We didn't do very well, but we held our own up until the fourth quarter. But that was the first time I'd been to a football game in many years, due to the whole family stuff. And it was a lot of fun to get back over there and see the campus. And
Daughter number 2 is going to go to Wazoo, and
daughter number 1 is going to Linfield right now. Daughter number 2 looks like she's got her mind set on WSU, and maybe my son Owen, who knows what Blair will do. So
in some ways that's kind of cool because you have memories of how did you and your wife meet, by the way? I mean, you guys have four kids and
we do. Wait, so my wife and I met mainly due to our parents. They worked together. My dad and her mom worked together in the post office, and unbeknownst to me, we were set up with a lesson.
And so you actually gave your now wife a golf lesson. That was how you.
Yes.
What a cool story.
She had found out, I think, that we were kind of set up this way, and I didn't know this until many dates later. So yeah, our first date. Well, she had to ask me because I wasn't going to ask somebody out on a lesson, but she asked. We wanted to go someplace to eat, and we did. So, and it went from there.
And what club was this at?
This was here at Whidbey Golf Club. I had
a feeling. I mean, I would assume that.
It's just a random timing, and I would assume that's the way they all work out, unless you hang out at bars. So
yeah, well, it is too when you think about it too. It's like, I mean, I've only ran across you and your wife together a few times, but you seem like you guys have an awesome relationship, and your kids are pretty cool, and I've seen them various times. I don't think Blair yet, but I've seen the first 3 as your caddy, so to speak, in some of the tournaments. So what's a story that when you look at somebody like a Chuck West working under him, watching him work, watching him lead a pretty big operation at either Whidbey or Sandpoint, that you learn from him, that you sort of think about every day, or you in the operation you go, this is what Chuck does, so I'm gonna do that. And it can't be about rules.
Well, I wasn't around him so much he was in the rules, but he was when he was here, he was a head professional, and when he was at Sandpoint, he was a head professional. Just work ethic. It was interesting to watch because this is much younger. When I was much younger, to see him and how he managed the ins and outs of doing what he does. I think it's lost on many people what it is a golf professional actually does, which is a lot. We don't just play golf. I wish that was the case, and I wish we were able to play more of it. And I think that's why people see me happy all the time, because I'm playing golf is when they see me. So I'm always excited to play, because it seems as we get older, it gets a little more dwindling. But watching Chuck in the business sense of the business, I got to learn just to watch him move around the clubhouse and manage his employees the way he did. I know he liked to write everything down by hand back in those days, even though we had systems that were coming up that are well used now, like Jonas. He did everything by hand.
The thing that's interesting about what you just said, though, is I think it's actually true, is one of my mentors, Gus Jones, always said that the normal day for a head professional at a private club is actually what probably seems like a lot of mundane, small tasks. Interact with this person, deal with this one, order that, get this group on the, deal with this pace of play issue. And he's like, but when you add it all up, it's actually a really interesting day. And it never turns out Thursday is never the same as the next Thursday. When, whatever the day it is, it's never the same. And then the other part is, he also said, he goes, the one thing that's a downside to this job. And at the time, this was high-end private club. He goes, the better job we do, the easier it looks. And he's like, and that actually makes people think we're not working that hard, because we're so good at what we're doing. We make it look easy. And he's like, they won't. And then it's like watching Bo Jackson go run up the fence to catch an outfield fly and bring a ball that should have been a home run. It's like, well, he doesn't seem that impressed by what he just did, so maybe I'm not that impressed. It's like, well, that should be pretty impressive. So anything that Chuck ever did that's just hilarious that we all would think was funny?
I don't know if I should tell this story, but I will. When I was young, it had to have been,
what's he gonna do? Give you a 2-shot penalty?
Yeah, he might. Junior or senior year in high school, I think it might have been my second time playing with him, but I don't remember the rest of the round. But coming up 18, he was hitting a shot probably from 110 yards on 18 up the hill, par 5, and he owned his own carts at the time. But I don't remember where the shot went, but he put that club through the windshield. I can tell that story now that he's just a rules guy, but he was not happy with where the end result of the shot. So he didn't get angry very often, but he was not happy at that point, and I was blown away. And he turned to me and I think he said something along the lines of, "Don't ever do that." So it was the old do as I say, not as I do. So
that's awesome. So that's great. I'm glad you told that story. That could have been a lot worse. I mean, I think it's just funny. We've all lost our temper.
Yeah,
of course.
No, I've never seen anything like that from him again. But
no, I'm sure
he had a day, and maybe there was already a crack in that windshield. I don't know.
He just finishing the job. He's gonna have to take it off anyways. Speaking of playing on the golf course, I know one of the people that you won the 2012. I like this story, so we'll tell the story. It's one of the first times I really met you. Was I started on the 1st or 10th tee, just to get to know people in my role there at Indian Canyon. Asked Jeff if I could do that, and he was more than happy to let me stand on the tee as a volunteer. And but it just made good sense for me. I met you, and you won the 2012 Rose Hours, one of our section majors. And I think that particular year, the winner's check was $11,000. And Rose Hours obviously is a longtime sponsor, so we should throw them a little love because they've been a great section sponsor for a long time. And had a great venue, a classic public golf course in Spokane, which actually, I've never heard anybody really say all the players love playing there because it's a really cool golf course. What about that course makes that you enjoy playing? Because it's different than a lot of courses, and it's definitely different even than Whidbey. Whidbey has some elevation change, but not like that. What makes it special?
Well, it's just like what you just said. Everybody loves playing there, and I always go back and look at it. You look at the golf course, you don't have to hit it far to score there, and I think it gives everybody an opportunity to score well. I mean, it obviously helps to hit it far, but don't hit it offline at that golf course. The greens are, some of them are diabolical. So it because it's not long, it has its defenses. But if you're hitting it long and straight, I mean, that's always going to help. But I think everybody can play it. If you're a little bit older, you can still score there and have a chance at it. It is an interesting golf course. And that's, I won the year after I had actually played there the first time. I believe I missed the cut the first year I played there, and mainly because I didn't know how to play it. I think the year I won, I went into our practice round or I think the pro-am, and I started writing down what I wanted to do for the golf course and not hit driver everywhere. I was still learning to play tournament golf at that point too. So, not just laying up to where we need to be, make putts. And
I mean, I haven't played it myself, but I've played several Chandler Egan's many times. I mean, Eastmoreland in the Portland area is similar, just a great layout. And then this summer I got to play the Inner Nine at Rogue Valley, which is still a Chandler Egan, and it has greens that are just so cool, diabolical, Yes, but like such a cool golf course. And I mean, there's other holes at Rogue Valley of their 27 that are still Chandler Egan design, but such a cool. It's like going back in time. The story that I always remember, sitting around, and I think it was after the first round, and you're the defending champ, and I'm done with and I'm just meeting guys, and it's like, hey, David, what did you do with your $11,000 check? And you said, in sort of a really not pathetic way, but it wasn't like, yeah, it was kind of just what. Remember what you said?
Yeah, we bought a minivan.
Yeah.
we just had, our third, and we needed something bigger than what we had, and so it was a good way to spend the money.
Good sacrificial play by the dad. But at the same time, the weird part was, so we all just laughed super hard, and I think maybe David Owens and some other people are in this sort of circle, and everybody has a after round beverage there, because you're walking up and down in the middle of summer, a hot golf course. So guys were yucking it up, and I said to you, and I said, you really don't seem that bothered by it. And you were like, actually, I love that van. Like, I drive it.
Yeah, I liked it more than my wife did. As soon as she could, she got rid of that. But then we had our fourth, and we had to get another one.
Nice. Well, I think at the time, I remember you literally said, yeah, I drive that van most of the time. And my wife likes to drive the BMW.
Yeah, we had an older BMW, and she would drive that unless she needed to get all of us in there. So
you had an older BMW. What one was it? I love old BMWs.
Yeah, so do I. We had up until just a couple years ago, it was an 05 3 Series. So it was great.
It doesn't work with 4 kids, that's for sure. A 3 Series.
Once we had the fourth kid, that thing was just a car for now. She just turned 19, Addison did. And so she drove that for 2 or 3 years until she was able to save up and get something of her own. So we sold that a little bit ago, but we've gotten rid of both of our minivans, because as much as I didn't mind or driving it, my wife really wanted an SUV. So
when you're as cool looking as you are, you can make a minivan. I hate driving minivans. There's only one minivan we had with our 4 kids that I actually wanted to be seen in. We still have a minivan that's a bus, and I hate being in that thing.
It's as practical as you can get. I would love to have it. I mean, just to cart everybody around, because we've gone on trips with her SUV now, and man, it's a tight squeeze just to get anywhere.
So again, the funny story, this is just one of those things I always remember, is like you just were like, I bought a minivan, and it's a great answer, but the rest of the guys in the circle, about 8 of us, we just thought it was so funny. But then you were like, I like it. I'm gonna keep walking. Like, and it was actually the perfect David Phay answer, because we were just like, oh, okay, well, you sort of took the fun out of it. It's very practical. The learning there on the, hey, guys are giving you the needle. You were like, hey, I like it. And then I also remember another one. You're obviously a very good player, and you work on your game, but probably not. I would say that you're one of the better players in our section who doesn't teach. It's not your primary. So you don't. I mean, you do teach, but you don't have the time. You don't focus on that. And
I kind of wish I could, but just the job that I have is pretty demanding, and I have to say no to a lot. So
we'll talk about this a little bit later, but I know you played on multiple Hudson Cups, and you also have been one of the top guys in pro-ams. When you play in pro-ams, it's kind of interesting. I was thinking, as you were telling your story about being probably a pretty select soccer team, being on Whidbey, it's just the norm for you to go off the island in order to compete somewhere. You got to go off the island. So, how many times you think in your life, you even more probably would think about, have you driven across Deception Pass, which is a beautiful bridge, but to go somewhere to compete, either in soccer or golf? How many times?
How many times have I gone across the Deception Pass?
Probably a million.
Oh no, come! It's
in order to play soccer or to play golf.
It's got to be a lot. It's it's above 1,000, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm sure it's like since I've met you, it has to be above 1,000. but so yeah, I think it's just one of those things where it's like it's the norm. So when you play in pro-ams, you know, you play in a fair amount, and what's something that, you know, maybe a member at Whidbey or a member at another club might not really understand the value of, from the pros perspective of playing in pro members pro-ams.
Yeah, I have a lot of buddies that don't play in too many pro-ams, and I get it. But I look at that as a member benefit for our members, mainly because there's a lot of our members that don't get off the island at all. I think just a couple months ago, I asked one of our members, "Hey, when's the last time you left the island?" And it was, I think it was over a year. He hadn't stepped off the island, which is unfathomable to me. So, getting them out to play different golf courses is, I always have to remember it's a treat for them to go someplace else. And I think they get pretty nervous when they get on the first tee. But we have a long discussion about that on the way over, that this is, you know, we're just out here for fun, team thing. Try to do your best as an individual. And I do like that we went to Stableford Points. It's mainly for pace of play, but it really helps our members take a little bit of pressure off them. They don't have to worry if they're going to make a big score. So they always like to hear that. But getting them off the island is a big deal to them, and getting them to play different golf courses. I believe that's a huge benefit for at least our members.
I'm saying it doesn't hurt that they also go places, and you know, obviously to go play a Seattle Golf Club or to go play, you know, one of the very best places is a treat. And they can get on a place they maybe never could get on there, and they get on with you because of your allocation, so to speak. But at the same time, sometimes it's also good for them to go play, you know, your greens committee, to go have, if somebody, and then they go play Skagit, or they go play, and then it's like, they're like, oh, they're doing that. That's kind of cool. Maybe we should think about that. Or they go somewhere, and I'm not going to pick on a golf course, but maybe they realize, you know, it's pretty darn good here. And maybe I should be a little more grateful.
It goes both ways. They get to see a little bit of the Northwest as far as golf goes, because I would say half of our members don't normally get to go out and play a different golf course, or they don't push themselves to do something like that. But so we do a beginning of the year pretty much pro-am draw, and we kind of have everybody upstairs and have them pick, you know, which ones they'd like to play in, and some of them get priorities and things like that if they've been on the board or are on the board, and give them a chance to go different places like we're talking about.
I have played in a couple of, I think in the last 5 years, I think it's 3 times maybe there's been pro-ams, pro members at Whidbey. I love that golf course. It's actually it's a really good golf course. You got to hit it both ways. You got to shape it a little bit. And if you really want to benefit, I don't hit it far like you, but at least not yet. Maybe I'm trying to figure some things out, but it's just a really great golf course. And then the elevation changes that happen on the back nine, and when you tee off 10, like when that golf course was nice and dry in the middle of summer, number 10's a hard fairway to hit.
Yeah, 10's our hardest hole in the golf course. And like you said, each hole's a little bit different, and there's some elevation on the back, not a lot on the front, a lot of water. I always look at our golf course, and I like playing it. It's an everyday golf course. It's something that you're not hitting the same shots all the time, or you have options, a lot of risk reward. Yes, you can score here, and it obviously has been done. But I do know a lot of buddies of mine that are very good golfers that come and play it for the first time, and you know how hard it can be the first time that they play it. So when they get it, you know, a few rounds under your belt and you're hitting it well, and obviously making putts, you can score here, but it'll jump up and bite you. It has many times to me and some of the other good players.
The only hole on the back nine that I think that you can even kind of remotely think that you can take off, I mean, number 18 being a par 5 is a good finishing hole, and it's a par 5. But if you can make a 4 on that hole, you've got to hit a really good tee shot in your case, and a really good approach, and you'll probably most of the time have some sort of a short chip, because with hitting a long iron or wood into that green, you're probably not going to hold that green because of the slope in it. And then if you're like me and you're laying up to 90 yards or 70 yards, not getting a flat lie, and you're trying to hit to a green above your head, that's a very fair shot, similar to Indian Canyon, actually, in that you've got to do that. But that's a whole people like, oh, it's a par 5. 11 is no gimme as a par 5. Like if you hit one shot bad, you're struggling to make a par.
Oh yeah, number 12.
Yeah.
Number 12
Number 12.
is
Number 12.
downhill. You can, that one's a good par 5. We've got some trees there that many of our members would like to come down.